everybody, this is Anna, also known as Anna-Litta from Ravelry, Anna-Lina-Knit on Instagram, and Anna-Knit Yarns on Etsy. Every link you need to find me and all the show notes you find in the description box below. And if you are not interested in some of the chapters I'm talking about, you can skip them here on YouTube because I'm using timestamps. So welcome here, all the new and returning viewers. I hope you will enjoy the show. My last podcast is 2 or 3 weeks ago, and because of business trips and so on, I wasn't able to podcast in my regular routine, but today I have lots to show you. So let me put my dog down. I will show him just shortly. This is Benny. He's a West Highland White Terrier and always jumps on my lap when I start to talk to the camera or the phone. We have a knit-along going at the moment. The Helgen Kal, or Helgen Kal is the hashtag on Instagram, and we have a Ravelry thread for those of you who prefer using the thread there to post and be able to win a prize. You can win 3 skeins of sock yarn and a project bag from me. My Helgen Kal is about my latest sock knitting pattern you can buy on Etsy. I don't sell on Ravelry, I only sell on Etsy. And I really like this pattern, so I thought let's knit Helgen socks together, and so did I, and that leads me to my first finished object. You can win just by purchasing my pattern and knitting as many pairs of Helgen socks as you like. Let me just put the socks on a sock blocker. You can knit every shoe size I offer you in my pattern. I provide all the information you need to knit the perfect fitting sock for everyone. And the great thing about this sock knitting table that is in all of my patterns, so in all of my sock patterns, is that you only need to know the shoe size of the recipient, and if you know that, you have all the numbers and all the measurements in metric and the US system to knit the perfect fitting sock without keeping to try on the sock. Or sometimes you can't even try the sock on because the recipient isn't close to you. That's how I knit my socks, like forever. That's how I learned to knit my socks. I measure and don't count rows, and I knit socks all the time for other people, and they are always fitting, always. Okay, here is my first finished object that I enter in the Helgen Kal, but I can't win anything. And here they are. This is opal yarn from the collection Africa. If you hear a noise, it's Benny drinking behind the camera. I would say a semi-solid, very untypical for opal. And now I will show you a close-up of the pattern. Okay, I did 2x2 ribbing, as I pretty much always do. I cast on 64 stitches. Oh yeah, and just as a side note, this pattern acquires a multiple of 8, but if your cast on number you usually use for your shoe size or for your recipient's shoe size, I offer you in my pattern a workaround. So you can knit every shoe size with that pattern. So just as a side note. So here you see the pattern. I really like it. It reminds me of dragon scales. That's the reason why it's called Helgen, because it's a reference to the PC game Skyrim. If you have played it, you know what I'm talking about. If not, read the little story in my pattern. Yeah. Then I knit a slip stitch heel because I prefer heel flap and gusset. I have shot a video years ago when I still lived in Austria, how I knit my socks, and I was talking 30 minutes about how I like my socks, how I like to knit my socks, and I was knitting short row heels, the wrap and turn heel. I enjoyed the process, but to be honest, the fit wasn't perfect, but I just took the advantage. No, not the advantage. I said to myself, okay, the fit is perfect, but good enough. And I like to save the time when I knit the heel, so I take the negative side of the not perfectly fitting heel, but the process is more enjoyable. And then I started to knit heel flap and gusset again. That was the way I learned it, because it's the traditional way of knitting socks. And I realized now that I am a more experienced knitter, I'm a little bit faster than in the beginning when I learned to knit socks. I really don't mind to knit the heel flap and gusset, and the fit is so much better. So heel flap and gusset, then the pattern only on the instep stitches and the German Bandspitze. Also, this toe is written down in all my patterns, because you can, with all my patterns you can do whatever you want. You can knit another cuff, heel or toe, you can knit longer, shorter, whatever. Or for example, the pattern only on the foot and not on the leg and not on the foot, or the other way around. You can always modify to your liking. But I really enjoy the German Bandspitze, because it doesn't, you don't have to Kitchener anything, you don't have to do something complicated. It's very easy. The fit is very, very good. Yeah, and very good for every shoe size. And this is my first finished object. Haha! But I have a second finished object. I finished it yesterday. It's also a pair of socks. Let me put them on the sock blocker. I was watching the Naughty Knitwits lately, and this morning. I really like their podcast. And Leslie, it's Leslie. Leslie is knitting the half and half wrap and all these pretty things and so on as a wedding present. So for, I think, the in-laws of her daughter, because her daughter marries in July, I think. And it is so inspiring. It is so inspiring to see all her pretty knits and the half and half wrap, because she loves this project so much. And I thought, oh, Anna, you have to do something else than socks. You only knit socks all the time. But I can't help. I love socks, but I also want to knit something else again. So I feel the desire to, I don't know, maybe a sweater or so. I should knit a sweater, maybe not a wrap or shawl, because I have so many. And I don't wear them so much. Since I work at home, it's not so cold all the time. And now it's summer. Okay, but first before we talk about all my next cast-ons or whatever, I want to show you my second finished object. It's a very pretty pair of socks. Ta-da! This is, after a while, a vanilla sock again. I started to knit a textured pattern, but I couldn't wrap my brain around it, and then I saw how it looks in this yarn in a stitch pattern, and I didn't like it that much. And I'm very happy that I knit a vanilla sock, because the striping is so beautiful. I used natural white from Opal. This is also Opal. It's the Memories collection, and the colorway is called The First Love. And yeah, I used the natural white. I can compare it to this one. This is the white I use for my contrast for my Opal blanket instead of a natural. And here you can see the difference very well. I love this colorway. I came across this colorway many times and didn't buy it because I thought, oh, I have too much sock yarn. Yeah, I have too much. But I really wanted to knit this yarn. And I have another colorway from the same collection, and only the background color is different. I think it's more of a hot pink, but the striping is similar. I really like that too. But I have to wait until I cast that on, because I have another cast on for the Musterschlacht, the pattern battle I talked about many times. There is this forum on Ravelry for the Opal subscription owners, and every time a new subscription is shipped, we knit one all the same color. Everyone is participating. Who wants to participate has to knit this one ball of yarn from the shipment, but everyone has to pick another pattern. Yeah, but this is a vanilla sock, and it was lovely to knit a vanilla sock again. You know, I don't have to look down. Only when I switch the needles, I'm using DPNs. Oh, and I'm knitting all my Opal socks with 2.5mm needles and 60 or 64 stitches. It depends. If I want to use them over my, is it pantyhose, the English word? You know, in the winter when you wear skirts and dresses, you need to wear these. And then on top of that, I'm in my boots, I wear socks. And then I use 64 stitches. And if I know I will wear the socks on my bare foot or bare feet, I will use 60 stitches. What was I going to say? Yeah, I'm using DPN's 2.5mm needles, and I enjoy DPN so much. That's how I learned to knit socks, and I know there are many different needles, the crazy trio and the flexi flips and magic loop and 9-inch circulars, and I have tried some of these methods. I tried magic loop and 2 at a time magic loop and 9-inch circular, but you have to practice a little bit to get used to it, and then to maybe come to the conclusion that you think it's better than DPNs. But for me, it's not worth the process of practicing to maybe find out it's better or as good as DPNs, because I'm so used to DPNs. I have my routine, I don't have to look down, and it's quick, and I'm not so adventurous when it comes to knitting, and I'm not so much interested in new techniques and so on. Maybe you think I'm a boring knitter. Yeah, but it's my relaxation time. So yeah, I'm not so much interested in finding out new things and so on. So vanilla sock was a nice thing to do. Here's my Helgen sock. I forgot to mention that this is a present for my mother-in-law, and this is for myself. And that, these were my finished objects. And now we come to my works in progress, and I have cast on yesterday a new sock for the pattern battle I talked about. And this is a pair of socks for my husband. I don't say fiance anymore because I'm married. It's 4 or 5 weeks now, and it's lovely. It's lovely to say I'm his wife, he is my husband, and to use my new surname. It feels very good. It feels very, very good. Yesterday, so I had already media, what is it? In German we say Auftritt. So I was in the media already, and it was it was feeling so good when they asked me how my name is, and in front of the cameras I was telling them what my name is, and it's a new name now, and it feels so good that I have his name. I'm a big fan of women taking or sharing the name with the husband, so the husband's name. I'm a big fan of that, and I'm a big fan of families all having the same name, because it is so confused. I don't know how it is in the US, but here in Germany it's quite common that sometimes women keep their name and the children have her name and the father has his name. So, and then what is very common, and it's always complicated for me, when the women they have a double name, so they keep their name and attach the husband's name to it. For example, if my surname was Nidder and my husband's name was Weaver, I would be Nidder Weaver or Weaver Nidder. So, and that is always a little bit complicated, and I don't know. I don't like that so much. I really like this tradition to take the husband's name, but it's a commitment. It's a commitment, and I think men should be grateful or respectful about that. I think you can expect that from a marriage, that you are willing to make commitments, but it's not something, I think you should appreciate it, because changing your name is also a little bit changing your identity. I have had my name for 32 years now, and I connect a lot with it. And I mean, my name was Nidda. So the German word for Nidda was my surname, and I gave that away, you know. But I know I can't stay Anna Nidda, so that's nice. It's my brand. Yeah, but it's a commitment, and I think it shouldn't be something... Yeah, it should be something men should be grateful and appreciative about. So let's keep it with that. I really like having his name. And his name is beautiful. It sounds like an Italian name. It's not. It's... I don't know the English word. You will read it on the screen. And always when I say what my name is, they say, "Oh, what a beautiful name." And I think, yes, from a beautiful husband. Okay, now we'll talk about my new cast on. Oh, and just don't be offended or something when I said it's complicated for me when the people don't have all the same surname, or when women take the double name and so on. You can do whatever you want. Just for my preferences and for my understanding, for me it's too complicated. And we want to have kids, and I want that we all have the same name, you know? Just, it's my preference. I think it's nice. I think it's, yeah, you know, I'm a conservative, you know that. So don't be mad at me if you are not agreeing with me. Now we come to my next cast on for my husband. The yarn is Opal from the last Opal subscription I have received, so it does not have a colorway name. Yeah, and Tommy picked this yarn. So I showed him my yarns, all the other yarns as well, and was asking him, what would you like to have? Knitting for you? What would you like me to knit for you? And he picked this, and I was a little bit surprised because it's quite colorful. But yeah, he's getting adventurous with colors for his socks already. And here is my cast on with a lovely Progress Keeper by 3 by the Sea Designs. Okay, and the pattern is a German pattern. I think it's not available in English. It's a free pattern. It is very easy. You basically knit half of the stitches, and the rest of the stitches you do half brioche. I think it's called half brioche in English, or fake brioche. I don't know. You know, in one round you do not on over all stitches, only a few decorative stitches. You make a yarn over and slip the next stitch as if to knit. And then you do all the other things. And then in the next row, you knit together the yarn over with a slipped stitch. And then you have a very prominent one stitch like in brioche. And it is brioche. The German word is Patent, and in German it's the half. So Halbpatent, half patent. So I think that's how it's called. But unfortunately, it's not available in English. I think so. If it's available, you will find the link in the show notes. And it's a pattern on Ravelry. Schafpate is the pattern called. Sheep Godfather. Okay. You can't see a lot. Here are the knit stitches, and here is the pattern going on. I think you will be able to see more this afternoon after I have knit a little bit. And this afternoon I have a date, an online interview with Neil from Blocked, so stay tuned for that. I don't know when he will upload it. It will be available on his channel, so you have to hop over to Blocked on YouTube, Blocked Magazine or Blocked. I will write it here on the screen now that you can find him, and I will link him in the description field below, his Instagram account and his YouTube account. He is making the Blocked magazine. It's a free knitting magazine that is available online. It's not a print version, therefore you can have it for free. And I wrote an article for that, and I will be offering, so I will write a pattern for the, I think, November issue for Blocked. I really like that. Lovely patterns in there, lovely makers, lovely articles I can recommend. And Neil asked me if he could interview me. And I said, oh yes, I love talking about knitting, so great. We will meet today. Next work in progress is my Christmas cowl. What? Christmas, Anna? Yes, Christmas. Because Dana Ray Makes on Instagram is again hosting the Christmas in July make-along. But Anna, it's June. Yeah, I know. But her Christmas in July make-along is always from the mid of June until the mid or end of August. So you have plenty of time to make a Christmas stuff. And she is doing the first half Christmas stuff and the second half Halloween stuff. And yeah, I like both. So, and I decided I want to finally crochet through my Christmas bobble, as we call these kind of cakes in Germany. You see, it's again this nut twisted, it's this nut twisted yarn. You have 4 threads. So here now 3 in white or cream, 1 red and 1 golden. The golden one is always there. And it fades into the next color like that. And here you see it's the Infinity Cowl. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And here it's what it looks like. You see the fade. It's very pretty. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 to 6 rounds in one color, and then the next thread gets lighter and lighter and lighter, and then it ends into green. And it's huge because you twist this around and then you wear it doubled, so to say. And the stitch is it's easy. It's 1 round of granny stripe. I don't know how well you can see this. 1 round of granny stripe and 1 round of only double crochets, or treble crochets in British terms. Yeah, it's very easy. It's mindless. I don't really like that word, but I'm looking for a better one. It feels very nice. The yarn is a mix of cotton and polyester. It is by an Austrian lady. She's not dyeing them. I'm sorry, I have a mess here. She's not dyeing this yarn, but she is winding the yarn. So she decides how the fade should look. And then she knots the yarns together and winds them. So you have this, and you don't feel or see the knots, no worries. It's very well. And it's from Austria. It's called verbobbelt.at. Verbobbelt, so the word bobble is the German word for this kind of big faded cakes of yarn. And yeah, I have received this as a present from an Austrian friend, I think already 2 years ago or so. And now I want to finally crochet this, and I think it's very pretty. And then I have a pretty Christmas cowl to wear in the season. Because if you start this in December, if you are like me, you won't finish it in December. And I want to knit Christmas socks in December and so on. So I'm not participating in the make-along to win something. You can win a lot of things. I lost the overview, to be honest. I don't know. You can win a lot of things, and every 2 weeks or so there is a new topic or theme or prompt or anything else like that. But I'm not so involved. I just knew I want to make something Christmassy with Dana Ray Makes in that time, because that was motivating me, and that's lovely. Oh, and my crochet hook is called Fusion. It's from Amazon, very cheap, and a 3.0 millimeter hook. Oh, and I forgot to show you my socks for Tommy, for my husband. I will knit this opal contrasting for heels and toes. We will see how well this goes together. It's not the perfect match, but it's okay, I think. It's good enough. Yeah. I could also use black, but you know, black. Knitting with black is not so much fun. And I'm looking forward to knit this sock very much. I started the pattern today, this morning, in bed with my first cup of coffee, and it was so intuitive, easy, fun, but interesting enough. And some of my customers said the same about my Helgen pattern. They said it's so rhythmic and it's not going on much, but enough to keep you interested. And I see it the same way. I love patterns that are effective and keeps you focused on what you do, but not you can definitely do this while you watch TV or listen to a podcast or audiobook or something. You can read your knitting. After the first repeat, you definitely have to know what you do. You know what you have to do. It's the same with this sock pattern. And I like these kind of patterns. I don't like the ones where I have to look every round what I have to do, because it's a repeat of, I don't know, 18 pattern rounds, and every round is something completely different. I like the socks, but I'm not so interested in making those kind of things. And this pattern is easy but not boring, and I have knit this the third time now. Yeah, it's my third pair of Helgen socks. Yeah, and so to say, a whip, I learned to spin. Maybe I can show you a little bit. I learned to spin when I was when I was at my local knitting group, and I didn't knit because one of the ladies suggested me to learn to spin, and I have this pretty drop spindle by Fondant Fiber. And I don't know, I think her shop doesn't exist anymore. I can't find her. I love her. I loved her yarns and her fibers, and she has had these pretty spindles, and this is a Ravenclaw spindle, and it's blue, my favorite color. It's glittery, it's perfect. And so after I spun with this lady, maybe on this background you can see these more easily, I haven't spun again, because then I was on my business trip, and then it was very, very hot, and but I will go on practicing. It's not, this is really at the moment not about the result. It's much more about the process. It's so much more about the process. I just think it's fun to do. I don't think about the yarn that I have at the end. And I want to show you some new things, because I have a new yarn base in my shop. It's a sport weight or a very light DK weight. So it has 300 meter on 100 gram. So it's where DK starts and sport weight ends, so to say. And I have new colorways as well, and I have a favorite, no, two favorites I would say. Let's start first with the colorway Spirit. Just quickly, I will show you. This is Spirit. It is 100% merino, 22 micron. That means very, very soft, lovely to work with. Spirit. Then I have Beach. This is reminding me on my honeymoon. We had our honeymoon on an island in the North Sea, and this is what I see in my head when I talk about the beach. I love it. The sand and the water and the sky. Oh, these are all my favorite colors. So you can have them. They are already in my shop. And I have my first Halloween colorway, and I love this colorway. I will definitely make more of them. Here is Trick or Treat. I love that. I really love that. I wasn't planning making a Halloween colorway, but I was picking these colors because I thought that would be an interesting combination. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I see Halloween, and I love Halloween. So this is sport weight. You can knit everything with it, hats and pullovers, and you can also knit socks if you like 100% merino socks. If you like 100% merino socks, I also have the sock knitting table for you, because with my sock knitting table you can buy in my shop for €5, you have all the instructions for 4-ply, 6-ply and 8-ply, and this would be a 6-ply. Because 4-ply is fingering, 6-ply is sport weight, and 8-ply is DK. Okay, so it's easy because 4-ply held double makes 8-ply makes DK. If you don't have a DK weight yarn, I guess you have already done this. You hold 2 4-plies together. And if you want to have something in between fingering weight and DK weight, you take sport weight yarn. And everything is in my table written down, so it's easy to follow. I prefer to knit, if I don't want to knit, if I want to knit a quick sock, I don't usually knit DK weight socks. I know many people do that, but with them I don't fit in my shoes. And I like, if I need a quick gift for someone and I don't have the time for a 4-ply sock, I knit a 6-ply, so aka sport weight sock. Because they are quicker, they are thicker, but not too thick to fit in your boots and in your shoes. So it's a tip from me. And I have still Opal minis in my shop. Most of them are gone, so you have to be quick if you want to have them. You know, I'm a big fan of Opal minis, and Neil from Blocked has designed a shawl and a hat with my Opal minis. He has bought several times from me now, 2 or 3 times already. He always likes to have these Opal minis. He loves them. Who can't love these kind of cute minis? And yeah, I don't know when he will release his pattern, but I think in the next, or the one after the next Blocked magazine, Benny. So that was everything for today. Everything I wanted to show you. Please enter in the Helgen Kal by knitting my Helgen socks pattern. It's very easy and so much fun and addictive and versatile. I love that. And you can knit it with my other sock knitting table with 4-ply, 6-ply and 8-ply yarn. So whatever you like, you can do it. And maybe you are interested to take part in Dana Ray Makes Christmas in July make-along. I definitely enjoy it. And now I need to say bye-bye. See you hopefully next week. Have a lovely week. Happy knitting, happy crafting. Bye-bye.